Okay, this is Fishing Sim World Bass Pro Shops. You can see down at the bottom that Bass Pro Shops. This is Fishing Sim World, but it is not Fishing Sim World Pro Tour. This is a totally different game. It's a bass competition fishing sim, so it's totally different from Pro Tour. This is Bass Pro Shops, and there's nothing but bass lakes and bass competitions. There's 4 competitions per week. So if you like multiplayer, if you like online competitions, you should definitely get this. This is Every Fish Counts, Attempt 2. And I started making a video for my first attempt, but it went so poorly. I mean, the first 30 minutes went great. But then I missed a bunch of fish, and a 16-pounder broke off, and I actually had to quit that attempt. So I will probably be posting this. I got a black boat and a purple jersey. And I'll be going towards the dam. My spot for bass is by the dam. In some grass that I found a bunch of big, giant, super heavyweight largemouth. And you can see right now I have 140. But by the time I finish this attempt, I am hoping to have about 240 pounds. And if I do, I'll be in contention for first place. No one else has taken their attempt yet. So I'm like the first person actually trying it this week. So there's no one else to compare me to yet. But I got a lot of views on my Fishing Sim World videos, so I just decided just to bring you along on this attempt in the tournament, the weekly tournament. And you can watch if you like to. I'll talk the whole time and try to make it at least a little entertaining. But Bass Pro Shops Fishing Sim is great, guys. It's a really good game. Now, I get my strategy from Redbuck69. He just short casts, and then he twitches, like this. Oh my gosh. Look at the size of that one. Oh, I did not get the big one. But that's also Redbuck69 strategy. He short casts, and then when his lure gets by the boat, he just moves his lure around the boat. And he catches a ton of bass that way. And I mean, every time he enters, he wins. Just doing this. I'd really like that extra large one. All right, my first bass. So walleye do not count, catfish do not count, and chain pickerel do not count. even though this is every fish counts, it's a total weight of all bass catches. Is basically what this is. And every week there is a new total length competition. Every week there's like a total numbers competition. And then there's best 5 bass, just like Bassmaster, biggest 5 bass. And there's this one, every fish counts, which is a weight of all bass. But this fishing sim world has an underwater camera too, just like Bassmaster. I'm just not using it right now. But you can turn the underwater camera on in Fishing Sim Bass Pro Shops Edition. You cannot turn any underwater camera on in Fishing Sim Pro Tour. So if you want the underwater camera, you have to get Fishing Sim Bass Pro Shops Edition. And guys, honestly, I would not get the download because it's like $10 more expensive than the physical copy. If you go to Amazon and you get the physical copy, it's got a big bass on the front of it. If you get the physical copy, you'll get it for like $30. But if you buy the download, it's more like 40. But unlike Bassmaster, there's 4 tournaments every week. And it's monthly in Bassmaster, and there's only one major tournament every month. Oh no, it's a catfish. There was a really big bass down there too. But my Fishing Sim World has gotten some views. And so I just decided to start recording my Fishing Sim World tournaments. There's also like legendary boss bass in this game. There's not as many as Bassmaster, but there are like boss bass. They all have names just like Bassmaster. But if you didn't know, the same people that made Bassmaster made Fishing Sim World. Dovetail Games. And they're a British company. And they made my favorite game ever, Bassmaster. So I will be recommending this game to you. Bass Pro Shops Edition Fishing Sim World. As being a wonderful bass fishing game. Wow, I'm getting all the species that I don't really want. I got a walleye now, I got a catfish. I really need to break them off, and get back to bass fishing. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this bass. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is like probably a 15-pounder or close to it. Now, what you will discover in Fishing Sim World is that the bass bust off real easy. And you can't jerk your rod around a lot or use high drag, or you will lose a big monster bass in Fishing Sim. It's not like Bassmaster. You have to be very, very gentle with these, or you will definitely, certainly lose them. All right, I got him. No, he's a lot smaller than I thought he'd be. He was almost 12 pounds. A good fish, though. I definitely needed him. Another big bass. This one's more like 10 pounds, but another good one. But some people don't like the outdoors games. And honestly, guys, they used to really suck. Like, some of the old hunting games were really pretty bad. And it's like some of the old fishing games were not that great. But these newer ones are quite good. I'm just a fan of them. I'm a fan of the outdoors, the newer outdoors games. I think they're absolutely phenomenal. Like Bassmaster and Fishing Planet. Bassmaster, Fishing Planet, Fishing Sim World. Those are the real greats. Whoops. That was not the right retrieve. There's just a lot of really big bass here. So I know I can win here. Another catfish. He does not count. Wow, there's a really big bass down. Oh, man. I got the catfish and not the bass. So right now, this is going pretty tough for me. I got to keep trying. There's a really big bass down there, and I want to catch it. But this is a strategy I got from Red Buck. Another walleye, guys. This is going really rough. I definitely need to like do something. But Redbuck 69, he twitches all the way up to the boat. This is another walleye. This spot does have some walleye. But I'm not used to this many, like, various species. Hopefully this will slow down and I'll get more bass. I had to bring this one in. It's a giant walleye. It does not count. And another one, guys. This is really bad news for me. But I'm going to keep the faith. It's not a total bust yet. If I could get a really big bass, it could make the difference. All the time I just lost. There is a really big one down there. I just saw him. And you can see all the bass right under the boat. And it's a walleye. No, this is a big bass. This is a big bass. I was just expecting another walleye after all that. And now I really need this. If this fish breaks off, I will be in trouble. I really need this one. And I got him. 15-4. This is what I was waiting for. A super heavyweight trophy. Now I'm kind of back on track. All that time that I lost to the walleye, I regained with that fish. Oh, and another big one. This is more like 10 pounds, but it's also, this is probably bigger than 10 pounds. Yes, 11. That's fabulous. Absolutely great. And this is one of my big hot spots on in Bassmaster. Catfish. I do not need this fish. I do not want this fish. Here's a good one. He's a little guy, but he'll score. If I could get about 240 pounds in an hour, I would say that is terrific. A good smallie. That one will score. Another scoring bass. And it is a good spot, guys. Sometimes you get a lot of walleye, but then the big bass you get really make up for it. Also, I'm using the worm. I'm using the squirm and worm. It's a pickerel. It will not score. Another bass. And the spot is just great. It's very reliable. Okay, this is a good one. It's at least 10 pounds. Or around 10 pounds. This is one of the fish I've been waiting for. These bigger size bass. And he broke off. That's a shame. I even had my drag down to like 21, but you can see I was moving my rod against him quite a bit. So it may have been my fault. I'm not exactly sure why that fish busted off. Probably because I was moving my rod against him. Catfish. Do not need catfish. So I'm busting him off. So what do you guys think about Nintendo? Do you think they're greedy and selfish, and do you think they cost too much, and Microsoft and Xbox is too expensive, and Game Pass is too expensive, and that's kind of the news of the hour at the moment. Nintendo is overpricing games and overpricing consoles, and that's the real trendy kind of video in gaming right now. And Nintendo is ripping us all off, and I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people just are poor, honestly, guys. They just don't have a lot of disposable income. And it seems like even though a lot of us are poor in this country, we're still a little spoiled. And we feel like we should get something for nothing, like we want all these Nintendo games for free or something. I don't know. But I don't know, like, how's Nintendo supposed to price their games? Are they supposed? Is like every game supposed to be like a $30 game these days, or a $40 game? Like, what if it? Because a lot of people don't realize that, GTA 6 had a budget of like over $2 billion to create GTA 6. And that's like the kind of budget that Nintendo's looking at. Their games, are pretty costly for them to create. And then if you live in the States, they have to ship them all the way over here, and they have some tariffs to pay. They got to pay our taxes to ship their consoles and their games over here. And people just don't realize, like, how much it costs to actually make some of these games, and they don't realize, like, that it's so much more, it's so much a bigger number than most of us could even imagine to, like, create a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild, or to create like Donkey Kong Bonanza or Metroid or Pokemon. Like, they have to pay developers, they have to pay for all these resources, and they just have a high cost, and there is no sense and even being in business if you're not going to make a profit. There's no sense to capitalism. Why even be in business if all you're doing is breaking even? Like, I don't have a single problem with Nintendo or the way Nintendo is doing business. Like, I don't like the $80 price tag for these games. Some of them are like $90 and like $100, but I understand that there's cost associated with creating a lot of these games and shipping them to the US, and like there are reasons that these people are pricing them high. And I don't think you should be in business at all if you're just going to give away your products. It's not a charity, it's a business, and people have to make money. It's, they have to pay their bills. They have to pay their people. And there's no sense getting angry at like a business. There's no sense like complaining that it's too expensive. Because it's just a business. They're only doing what they have to do to survive. And I've heard it said that Nintendo is like this big evil corporation these days, and I couldn't tell you like how much I disagree with that. If anyone's big and evil, it's Sony and Microsoft. They're the big corporations. They're the ones. Microsoft has Windows. They sell their Windows program. And I mean, they are a big, giant corporation. And Sony is too. Sony doesn't need PlayStation. They sell a lot of different things at Sony. And if their PlayStation ever went out of business, they would be fine. I mean, the PlayStation people would all lose their jobs. But Sony as a company would not fail. If Nintendo fails to make a profit, if they fail in their video games or their consoles, they go out of business completely. That's, in a sense, that's all they got. They don't have other products to sell. So I do sympathize with Nintendo. I understand like why it's expensive these days, and games are just bigger than ever. They take longer to make than ever, and so there are these huge costs associated with each Nintendo game that you play. You just might not realize like how expensive it is to make that game for Nintendo. It's not because they're trying to take advantage of us or anything. It's just that they have to. They have to price their games highly, or else they will not survive. They will not survive. Someone's dealing drugs, that's a bad business. If someone is pimping prostitutes, okay, that's human exploitation. That's a bad business. But the reason we have capitalism is that so good businesses can make money, and they can prosper, and they can succeed. And it's good for the whole country. Wow, that was a good one. It's good for the whole country when a business like provides jobs and provides taxes for the government and provides like a good business really prospers and profits an entire nation, benefits when good capitalism works. People pay their bills with Nintendo, you know? People feed their kids and pay their bills with what they earn from Nintendo, from working at Nintendo. And our government, it prospers because of Nintendo. All the taxes on Nintendo goods and the tariffs, you know, and I mean, we should just be grateful, honestly, that they're even willing to ship because they're Japanese, you know, like they don't have to sell to us white Americans and black Americans and Hispanics and Mexicans over here in America. But they choose to do it because it's smart business. It's good business to sell all that you can and to be as big as possible. But Nintendo could easily fail, you know, if they make a really bad move and they start selling all their stuff for like $30 or whatever, they would totally go out of business. And I think a lot of these younger people with videos hating Nintendo on YouTube, they just don't understand business or capitalism or the way it works, the way real business works. And really, guys, it's ungrateful. Like, we should be grateful that we have these Nintendos at all. And PlayStations, you know, I mean, I don't hear hardly any complaining about PlayStation, though. Like, these days, you see a lot of Xbox hate on YouTube, and you see a lot of Nintendo hate. But guys, honestly, in my opinion, these guys are just doing what they have to do. They're just doing what they have to do. And if they weren't doing it, they would not survive at all. Especially Microsoft. Because, like, all Asians buy PlayStations and Nintendo. But you will never see an Asian, I mean someone who lives in Asia, ever buy an Xbox. I mean, there's probably one or two over there, but you're not going to see it hardly at all. That's why it looks like Xbox is doing so poorly. Because only Americans and Europeans buy Xbox. The whole Asian market is beholden to PlayStation and Nintendo. Xbox isn't doing really bad. They sold like a zillion Series S's. Their Series S has been a real big hit. I know they could, there's room for improvement. They could do better. But Xbox is not doing horrible. They sell a lot to Europe and they sell a lot to America. It's just no Asians want an Xbox. In my opinion, if you're American, you should own an Xbox. Just to support our economy, or even just to be patriotic, you know, and kind of root for the American team. You know, Xbox is our console. Xbox is American as apple pie. If you're American, you should love Xbox. You should support Xbox. Not have all these negative, terrible things to say about it. I know they laid off a bunch of people, and I don't like that either, but guys, honestly, they probably had to. because they have their own ideas of how they want to use these studios. These studios that they purchased. And they're just going to run these studios differently than the former owners of those studios were running them. So they can't afford to keep all the people. That's business, guys. That is capitalism. Like, me and my brother had a business, and when my brother died, my sister-in-law sold my brother's business. You know, he was the boss. She sold the business, and the people that came in and bought the business, they liquidated like the whole office. They fired almost everybody, and they just kept the people in place that were doing most of the work, and they let everybody else go. That's just the way, like, you have to do business. If you just want to be nice and, like, charitable, you should just start a charity. Because that's not the way, like, business works. There's nothing wrong with Xbox, like, technically, theoretically, there's nothing wrong with them laying off or firing people that they cannot afford anymore to pay. There's nothing wrong. It's unfortunate, but I've lost jobs. You've lost jobs. We've all lost jobs before. And you just have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and tighten your belt and find something that you're else. Something you're good at, something you can hopefully pay all your bills with. But my heart does go out to people that lost their jobs at Xbox, and, you know, that's a real shame, but Xbox still, like, employs a lot of people. They still, like, have created jobs. They're mostly a good company, guys. And they're American, you know. They are us. Xbox is us. You know, we're not China. We're not Japan over here. We're not Korea. We're the United States of America, and we should be buying Xboxes. Xbox was the first console I ever bought for myself. It was like in '02 or something. Had my first full-time job. And I bought an OG Xbox. Like, it was like launch month or something. But then it got stolen out of my apartment, and I bought a PS2 because they were out of Xboxes. But right now I own two Xboxes, an OG Xbox One and a 360. I bought a Series S, but I did not keep it. I returned it because I realized that I cannot be a digital only guy. And the Series S is digital only. And I can't, I have to have, like, be able to buy a used game. Like, if I want to buy a cheap game or something, a physical game, I cannot go to GameStop and buy a game for the Series S. I can't, like, lend any of my games. I can't borrow any games for the Series S. And I cannot sell any of my games for the Series S. So I didn't purchase one of them. I just returned it. Because honestly, I didn't think that the store, the online store, was that great. There was a couple games that I was hoping were there that were not there. And those were big reasons that I even bought the Series S to begin with. So I just returned it. I can't be digital, like all digital. It's not for me. I have a bunch of digital games, but I can't be all digital. Like only digital. All right, guys, I'm starting to struggle. I was hoping for 240. Try to get a little closer to this grass. See if it's a little busier in here. But I hope you didn't mind my opinions about Nintendo and Microsoft. Right now, it's big news on YouTube is the prices at Nintendo and the prices at Microsoft and how outrageous it all is. And guys, I disagree. I don't think so. We're just entering a new era, like a truly a new generation where games are just going to be bigger. They're going to be more expensive. And they're just going to cost a lot more to manufacture and to create, to develop. And honestly, I'm not surprised. And honestly, I am not displeased. Guys, honestly, that is what I want. I want bigger, better games. I don't want to return to like the PS2 and I mean I know that was a great generation. I'm just saying like I want the bigger, better games, more modern games, the nicer stuff, the better consoles and everything. Well, guys, this competition is not going ideally for me. I don't think there's a chance at getting around 240 at this pace. I think I was just kind of like in the wrong spot for a little while. There's more bass like closer to the grass. But I'm going to post this video to my channel because I did a lot of talk about news. And like the current state of gaming and everything. All right, here's a nicer bass. Yeah, it seems like when I got closer to the grass, I did a little better. I probably shouldn't have been so far out. But guys, I always talk through my videos because I don't want to have a boring video. And to me, the channels that have no dialogue and just footage tend to be a little on the bland side. And so I do insert dialogue into all my videos. I'm sorry if it's a little annoying. I am a yapper, but I just believe that it improves. It improves the quality of the experience to have dialogue. Oh no, the walleye, I didn't need that one. But if you think you can beat my score, why don't you get Bass Pro Shops Edition Fishing Sim World? It's a really fun game. I mean, I enjoy it every time I come to it. It's a lot like, whoa, there's a big one. There is a big one down there. Yeah. So I'll probably do around 200, guys. Not 240 or 50. Like I was really, oh my goodness gracious. That's the one I was looking for. Guys, this could be a boss bass. I wonder how big this is going to be. Maybe 16, 15 or 16. It looks gigantic. Come on in. Oh, he's going back out. No. I don't want to lose this fish. If I lose this fish, it will not be good. I haven't caught many. Like, in the last 30 minutes, I just haven't done as well as I'd like to. Wow. 16-2. A real, you can hardly catch a bigger bass. Except for like a boss. So if you come in here, guys, probably should be a little closer into the grass, I guess. Oh, it's a pickerel. But I appreciate you coming on this journey with me into Fishing SimWorld Bass Pro Shops Edition. It's got an underwater camera. So you should definitely check it out. And a bunch of boss bass. But my PlayStation is going to stop my video in 5 minutes. I appreciate you coming on this journey with me. And if you have an opinion about all the videos about Nintendo on YouTube and all the videos about Microsoft and how terrible they are, and you have an opinion or a comment to make, I read all my comments and I respond to all my comments. But I just mostly do like fishing and hunting game videos. And you can subscribe if you like, but don't feel compelled. I mean, you do not have to subscribe. You don't have to push the like button. This is mostly just a personal channel for people that don't mind listening to me ramble and watch me play a game. That's all it is. I would be playing this if I wasn't making a video, guys. But it's just easy to link your YouTube with your PlayStation. Just shoot your video right over to YouTube from your PlayStation. So I figure, why the heck not? I love these games, and I think they're great, and or else I wouldn't play them. It'd be great to at least get 200 here. That shows you how poorly I did on the second 30 minutes. On the last half, is by the first 30 minutes, I had like 140 pounds. And then I only got 60 more the final 30 minutes. But I did talk a lot about different things that I've been seeing on YouTube. So I'll be posting this video because I kind of worked hard on the commentary, on the dialogue. I'm starting to lose my voice. Wow, I almost missed that fish because I was looking at my phone. Sorry about the ringing. I can't get to it right now. But guys, I was recently aware that my channel has been watched for over 900 hours. And some of you watching this very video are responsible for that. And I cannot tell you how flattered I am that you guys put up with me for so long and listening to me for so long. And it is very flattering. And it is a joy. It is a joy to do these videos. And it's just a real blessing to have a channel at all. One more minute, and my video will shut off automatically. And this tournament will be in the books. Well, thank you for watching this Fishing Sim World video.